As leaders in local democracy and public services, for councils to succeed, they need to build new digital services quickly, incrementally and at low cost, setting the best example for others to build on their place-based initiatives. Equally, commercial businesses need to exploit the competitive advantages provided by modern digital technology through great customer experience design. Placecube offers a new style of partnership, designed precisely to meet these needs.
Digital transformation is a really important part of public sector at the moment, and what we've done over the last few years is package up the best practice digital innovation that we've seen all over the country, and we are making it available in cubes for other public sector bodies.
Working with councils that we've worked with before, working with organisations to build reusable components that we call cubes, and enables us to rapidly put together a solution for the organisation that we're working with.
I think that one of the biggest challenges is data, and actually how we can use the wealth of data that we've already got. We interact with, we have over 1 million interactions every year with 300,000 people, but actually all of that data is stored in 300 different systems. And actually trying to understand the needs of our residents, the needs of our citizens, and how we can support them, work with them, engage with them is a real challenge when data is spread so widely and dispersed across so many systems. So for me, the biggest challenge is really how we gain that intelligence through the data that we collect in our day-to-day work.
I think digital sits at the heart of everything that we do. Not that long ago, people talked about the business and IT, and increasingly I think IT is the business. Everything that we do depends on technology, and it depends on digital to centre our services around our citizens.
As a leading provider of digital, place-based ecosystems, Placecube is delivering genuine co-creation and co-development partnerships, which give customers control of digital development in achievable outcome-producing stages. A way to prototype quickly and test digital solutions by engaging users earlier in design.
It's a very complicated landscape, so people have more and more stuff that they use at home that they're used to. And that works very easily. It's all designed around their services. Whereas as organisations, we're hugely complex. We deliver hundreds and hundreds of different services and rely on a number of different system vendors, many of whom have legacy products built on legacy technologies.
The biggest challenge to the public sector at the moment is obviously we're working in a really financially constrained environment with increasing demand from the population that expects more from our services. Within the workforce, it's an ageing workforce. In Scotland, around 40% of the workforce is now over 50, which means in a short period of time, a number of staff will be retiring, or our more elderly staff will be placed with increasing demands. So in that context, we really need to work much more closely together to exchange good practice and to ensure that efficient services and new ideas are adopted across the country.
There's a lot of conversation in government at the moment about moving from reinventing the wheel every time that we build a product digitally, doing it as a bespoke creation, to actually being able to reuse things and actually be able to share those things across councils. And people have talked about Lego government and building blocks. So when we talk about cubes, we're talking about reusable building blocks. We're talking about something that's built using standards, open standards, that it can interoperate with other cubes, other products using open APIs, that then can be therefore taken up by other organisations that want to get a head start, a much quicker way to start delivering that digital service without having to start from scratch. It's part of the sort of movement of moving up to providing products that people can buy as a service rather than having to invest large amounts of money every time they want to create a new digital service.
Local authorities sit in a web of information. From social care to waste collection, council tax and planning applications, huge amounts of data are produced. This data is often hard to access, hard to decipher, or merely too personal and sensitive to analyse. But such data has now been realised as potentially hugely beneficial in helping make services more targeted and effective. Councils can allocate resources to where they'll have the biggest impact, save time in front and back office processes, and provide insight into the causes of and solutions to costly social issues.
So digital is one of the key areas that Camden sees as one of the ways in which we'll meet many of our social challenges coming forward, whether that be through data, whether that be through the Internet of Things. When we think about how we manage Camden as a busy inner London borough, you know, actually Camden the place is really important. How we understand the environment that people are working within, travelling within, living within. So how we use sensors to get real-time data about pollution, noise, and how that data then influences some of the decisions that we make. Really, it's about how we can make Camden the best place to live, work, study in London, and how we use data and digital to make that ambition come true.
So at the moment, in a local ecosystem, in a place, typically what you find is that every part of that place, all the different organisations in it, are working separately. They're working in different sort of silos, different systems. They're not connected together, even though the people who live in that place might be needing services from all of those organisations, that they can't get a joined up view. And so there are specific sort of individual pieces of work that have happened across the country in different councils to try and connect together, say, health systems and social care systems. But there isn't one single open platform that can help to support that ecosystem and connect things together. And I think that's what we see as a real need in the market, something that we can support with our product set, which is to help organisations to connect together using open standards and to be able to bring together joined up responses, digital responses to the needs of a place.
It is argued that the government should develop a Lego brick approach to building public services, adopting a set of standard plug-and-play parts that reflect those used by internet giants such as Amazon and Netflix. One of the key features of such an approach would entail public sector organisations making use of a digital commons of shared common components before building any bespoke products.
So we very much have an architecture that's based on using components and ideally reusing components. So we're one of the founding members of the London Office of Technology Innovation, working with boroughs across London and more widely. And so the approach that you've set out is exactly what we want to do, which is to use bits of functionality as many times as we possibly can, but also crucially to share those with other organisations in the public sector so that we can reduce the overall effort to improve services for citizens.
So reusability is really important because across the whole country, the councils and other organisations do the same things essentially in very similar ways, and there's a lot that they can learn from each other, whether it's about the best way to present information or the steps that are involved in a transaction, or the solution to the problem of integrating with the back office system. These things are the same if you've got the same back office system. Why would you want to reinvent the wheel of how to integrate with it? So reusability is a way of taking cost out of the system, it's a way of making it faster to get to a solution, and essentially spreading good practice across the whole network.
I think that if you look at the range of services that the public sector has to work with the increasing demands that are placed from, quite rightly, from politicians and citizens. And then if you place on top of that financial cutbacks we've had to work with in recent years, I think you'll find that the public sector have been incredibly innovative. But that's not to say that they can't do better, learn from other countries or from other regions within the UK by collaborating together.
Placecube. Creating great digital experiences is simpler, easier and faster with cubes.